Hello and welcome to Finance Conversations. This is the fifth episode of the Merging Life and Money show, and I am super excited to be here with you. If we are meeting for the first time, I am your host, Marie-Jo César, and I thank you for joining in today. If you are watching the replay, make sure to type replay in the chat and leave me some comments and questions. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. I come to you live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to share valuable information about how to achieve financial wellness from the inside out and live your life with means and meaning. Today's show is, believe it or not, the fourth in the series titled How to Build a Secure Financial Plan. I will be exploring step 4, which is the importance of saving. So grab a pen and a notebook as I will be sharing tips and ideas that you might want to write down. If you have any comments or questions, make sure to put them in the chat. And if you want to talk to me directly, I will share my contact information a little bit later before the end of the show. So let's look back a little bit. So far in the How to Build a Secure Financial Plan series, I talked about financial mindset, about the importance of having a budget, how to eliminate debt, and today I will talk about the importance of saving. I will first look at 3 reasons you should save money. Then I will focus on 6 types of savings I recommend you should have. So what is savings? Savings is a portion of income not spent on current expenditure. It is the money you have left over and you put aside when you subtract your essential living expenses from your disposable income over a given period of time. Savings happen only when you track your spending. Saving is a habit which could be quite difficult at times to get into because we are far too concerned about the fear of missing out, what they call FOMO, which can really damage our finances. So why should you put aside that excess income? You should do so for many reasons. As I mentioned earlier, I identified 3 reasons. 1, saving money provides freedom. 2, saving money helps develop financial maturity. And 3, saving money provides financial security. So let's look at the first reason, freedom. Saving money is not about restriction, okay? It's about freedom. Freedom from fear of running out of money, freedom from reliance on credit, freedom from being under the economic thumb of others like the credit card companies. And as you may know, having money in the bank takes away the fear of running out of money and creates some breathing space. And having some breathing space helps you to think more clearly and make decisions that are not driven by fear. And as your savings grow, so do your options. And with option comes hope for the future. A second reason that I chose is financial maturity. Saving money intentionally and with purpose does more than accumulate money in a safe place. It helps you develop character traits of self-reliance, patience, and financial maturity. You know, there was a time, before my time, if I might add, when people had no choice but to prepare for their own emergencies. They had no safety net, i.e. credit cards, to cover them when things went wrong. So this sense of self-reliance changed in the 1950s when the first multi-use credit card, the Diners Club Charge Card, was introduced. The credit card changed the world in terms of self-reliance and in terms of advancements of personal entitlement. More than that, it misled us to what should be the need to save for the future as a matter of survival. We have now come to accept credit card as a way to deal with emergencies. And unfortunately, most people believe that the way to prepare for financial emergencies is to have plenty of credit available. So guys, saving for your future needs to find its way back in your life. So you cannot continue to spend all that you earn. You must save systematically for the future as if your life depended on it. Because you know what? It just might. And the third reason that I chose is financial security. Saving money helps protect you in the event of a financial emergency because it can help you avoid debt, reduce your financial stress, and leave a financial legacy. So saving is the intentional act of setting money aside for specific goals or purposes. Saving is not the absence of spending, okay? So no matter where you are in your financial journey, you need to know that it is possible to turn your financial life around and start saving money now. Sometimes all it takes is that first step in the right direction to get things moving in your favor. Okay, so when it comes to savings, remember that a part of all that you earn is yours to keep, at least 10%. So before spending money on anything else, pay yourself first. Ask your bank to automatically transfer a certain amount of money from your checking account to your savings account each month. This way, you do not see the money, so you do not miss it. Okay, so here are the 6 types of savings I believe you must have. It is foreseeable that there will be some emergencies during the course of your life, right? In fact, recent stats show that 55% of Americans have experienced a financial shock that left them struggling. In many cases, that hardship could have been avoided with an emergency fund. So this could be anything from a family emergency that requires you to fly across or out of the country, to less emotional emergency like a broken down car or a leaking dishwasher. You know, having a decent amount of money saved up keeps you from adding financial stress to the pile. It is even more important in time when more people are at risk of illness and job loss, like now. So the first type of saving you must have is emergency savings. Emergency savings can provide a debt-free means to withstand financial shock, such as long-term illness, job loss, or an unforeseen auto or home repairs. The sad part is that for many people, that type of safety net does not exist. A recent survey taken by NBC in January 2020 confirmed that only 41% of Americans would be able to cover a 1,000 emergency without borrowing money or selling something. So this means that far too many people are living in an extremely risky predicament. So your emergency savings is there for your unplanned event and not for expenses that are anticipated, which, by the way, should come from other sources. So why do you need an emergency fund? Emergency funds can be thought of as a self-funded insurance policy of sorts. Instead of paying an insurance company, you are paying yourself by setting aside these funds for the future. For example, if you lose your job, you will have enough money set aside to pay for your expenses until you find another regular income source. Or if you know that your car is experiencing some troubles, your emergency fund helps you prepare for the possibility of mechanical issues down the road. Now, they say that every household should have enough emergency saving to cover at least 3 to 6 months worth of bill and expenses. And some people, like contract workers, self-employed, single parents, and couple with one income, would need to save more because they are more vulnerable. So, since you never know when an emergency might happen, this money needs to be fairly liquid, as you will need to access it quickly and easily. That means emergency funds could live in a high-yield saving account or some sort of a money market account, because an emergency happens. When an emergency happens, the last thing that you would want to worry about is penalties around withdrawals. So remember, an emergency fund is especially important if you don't have family members nearby who can help you in a pinch. You can feel safe knowing that if you need cash quickly, it will be there waiting for you. And you should also increase your emergency fund from time to time to account for changes such as rises in the cost of living or additional financial obligations. Okay? And in an emergency situation, money is the last thing you need to be concerned about. So do your future self a favor and save up an emergency fund. Hopefully, you will never need to use it. But if you do, you will be beyond grateful that it is there. So should you have to use it, make sure to replace it as soon as you are able to. Okay, the second saving that I recommend is retirement savings. Another reason to save money is for retirement. We live in a world that encourages us to spend wastefully, accumulate more than we need, and put off things like retirement saving until we are basically retired. So as a result, many people are ill prepared for retirement because either they are not saving enough or they are not saving at all. Okay? And again, going back to the facts, the Consumer Federation of America found that only about half of non-retired people are putting away sufficient funds to support what they consider a desirable standard of living when they retire. This is sad because retirement may be the single biggest expense in many people's life. Think about it. You may be living for 20 or more years with no active income. So it is never too early to start saving for retirement. The size of your retirement account will likely determine when you will retire. Because guess what? Retirement is not an age. Retirement is an amount of money saved. So while your parents and grandparents may have had a pension plan that kicked off at 65 on the nose, that may not be the case for younger generation of workers. Instead, the 401k model of retirement requires that employees do their own saving. Even if you can only contribute a little bit every month, every deposit helps. Every deposit matters. You must also understand that the money you invest toward retirement should not be touched until retirement. So if your employer offers a 401k plan, consider using it, especially if they offer matching contributions. And some employers often match employee contribution up to a certain percentage, and it is worth taking advantage of this perk. This is free money. So basically, you should aim to contribute 10 to 15% of your gross income. And you could also contribute not only to your 401k plan, but you could also contribute to an individual retirement account, which they call IRA or IRA, to boost your retirement savings. And by the way, your IRA is another tax advantage saving option, but withdrawing money from any of your pension plan, 401k plan or IRA before retirement will lead to hefty tax penalties. So remember that each dollar you save is going to be worth less by the time you retire, because inflation will take away a big bite out of it every day. So you must beat inflation and prioritize growth. That means playing it safe by hoarding cash is a definite no when it comes to retirement. So as long as we are in this pitiful low interest rate environment, you can also forget about conservative options, okay, such as treasury bonds and savings accounts. The third saving that I recommend is a medical saving. This is money put aside to cover a medical emergency, specifically something that might not be covered by your health insurance. Once again, this type of savings should be liquid, so you can get to it easily in case of an emergency, in case of a medical emergency. So I know of three, okay? The HSA, which is a health saving account, the FSA, which is a flexible spending account, and the HRA, which is a health reimbursement arrangements. So all of them are designed to pay for or reimburse you for medical expenses that your health insurance coverage typically does not pay for. So each of these plans work a bit differently and offer some tax. All three offer some tax advantages. So, and you could also deduct your contribution from your taxes. So like any healthcare option, they have advantages and disadvantages. So as you weigh your option, think about your budget, the healthcare you are likely to need, and if you are enrolled in a health insurance through your employer, your options will depend on what your employer offers. So if you're not sure of what your employer offers, talk to your human resources department. At the end of the day, the right plan for you depends on what you have access to, whether you want to contribute to your plan, and the amount you plan to contribute. Now, the fourth saving that I recommend is education savings. Education is important, whether it's your own or your children's. A college degree, despite the rising cost of tuition, still remains a major achievement in today's society and economy. So, did a little bit of research there. The average, and that's for American, I'm not talking about foreign people registering in universities in America as foreigners. The average tuition fees, room and board in the school year 2020-2021 was for a 4-year private college, about $55,000. For a public 4-year college out of state, we're talking about $44,000 thereabout. And for a public 4-year college in state, this will set you back about $27,000. So if you have a child or children, you are probably already considering how to pay for college. So starting early and saving little by little can make a world of difference when those admission letters start rolling in. So while there are many ways to start saving for your child's education, the 529 College Savings Plan is a specialty savings account where you can take advantage of tax benefits while saving for future schooling. So typically, you will contribute to the 529 plan post-tax, and you can withdraw the earning tax-free as long as they are used to pay for a qualifying educational expense. So check with your specific state to see what specific tax benefit they offer, as benefits may vary from state to state. And don't forget that many colleges and private organizations offer merit-based scholarship, and federal student grants are also available. Now, the next saving that I recommend, personal savings. Personal savings is money you put away for non-immediate use. Okay, it's not an emergency, it's not a medical expense, and it's certainly not retirement. So this account is there to help you save up for the next big purchase or expenditure. It could mean a car, a vacation, or maybe some home renovation, or even a down payment on a home. It could also be a major life event like newborn babies or weddings. So based on the rate at which you are saving for this big purchase or life event, you will have an idea of when you would need the funds by and decide how long you must let your money grow in a relevant saving vehicle. Truth be told, you should always set a little money aside for enjoyment. Nothing is wrong with having a little fun without harming your financial future. Number 6, last but not least that I recommend, is the financial legacy saving. My French is taking over sometime. When you die, what kind of financial legacy would you be leaving behind? Would it be one of debt and financial burden for your family? Or would you leave a legacy of financial fortitude, wisdom, and honor? Note that your financial legacy is important to the people around you. Whether you are 20 years old or 90 years old, the way you handle your money will leave a lasting effect, positive or negative, on your loved ones. So, for goodness sakes, get out of debt, trim your expenses, and place a priority on saving your money. It is one of the best ways to honor your family and friends. Now, let me do a quick recap because we could be talking here all evening. Today, I shared information on the importance of saving and focused on 3 reasons for saving that I identified, namely freedom, financial maturity, and financial security. And I also talk about the top 6 types of savings you must have. And they are emergency saving, retirement savings, medical savings, education savings, personal savings, and financial legacy savings. And here are my final thoughts on today's episode. There is nothing wrong with pursuing the things you want, but doing so without regards to your security creates financial risks, promotes debt, and is the main reason so many people are unnecessarily living on paycheck to paycheck avenue. Personal saving should not just be a temporary reaction to a financial crisis, but rather a way of life. So saving money is important because it provides security, it provides stress relief and freedom. And while there are countless reasons to save, you just need to find one reason that resonates with you. Whether it's helping others, improving your marital finances, leaving a positive financial legacy, or just having a little more fun, you owe it to yourself to prioritize saving. No one is perfect. We all know that. So if spending is a real weakness for you, set up automatic deposit to help yourself live up to your savings commitments. You can either have your employer divvy up your paycheck between several accounts before you touch the money, or you can set up automatic deposit from a main bank account into other accounts. Do whatever it takes to ensure your financial stability, even if it means resisting your temptation. It's always a good reason to spend as well. No matter how much you think you deserve, no matter how much you think that you deserve those temptations. Okay? So are you saving like you should? If not, are you ready to make a change? Think about it, and I think you should make the change if you are not saving, if you are not prioritizing saving as yet. So I am going to leave you with this last point. Know that saving money in the bank changes your attitude about money because you lose that I am broke feeling. Okay? So before I forget, let me share my contact information. I did say I was going to. So you could reach me by sending me an email at mj@mariejocesar.com or by sending me a DM, direct message via Messenger. And as always, I like to close the show with a quote. And today, I chose one from the great Warren Buffett that reads, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." For more information about how to build a secure financial plan, join me next week, Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and 9 p.m. Atlantic Time. I will be talking about step 5 of the process, which is protect what you have and what you earn. So thank you for being here today on the Merging Life and Money Show. I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I will be back again next week. Until then, continue merging life and money. Bye for now.